Hey, let's open an art business together. Hi everyone, my name's Em, and today I'm doing a video talking about me deciding to take myself at my word and open an art business. Now, for full disclosure, I actually have no idea how to do this, but I'm figuring this out as I go, and I thought I'd take you on this journey with me. So I'm calling all the dreamers. I'm calling everyone here who has ever wanted to open an art business, but it's always been too scared. It's never been the right time, or it's never felt like it's been the right time. I'm going to tell you the honest truth. It's never going to be the right time. There is never a time to take a risk, but maybe this time is now. And that's what I'm doing. So I'm hoping you're joining me on this journey today. Now, for full context, I've been thinking about becoming an artist for a very long time. I got into that funk that everyone kind of goes to when they're younger, and they talk to people about feasibility of opening an art business and being told that's not going to pay the bills. What else are you going to do? So I went with my other option, which was now technically my full-time career. But I've always wondered in the back of my head, what if I just did it? What if I actually hadn't listened to the voices of reason and just went for it? So I'm going to try to do this, and I'm hoping to bring you guys along with me for the ride. So the first order of business is, what did I do to, start brainstorming what this is going to look like for me? So my first one that I worked out was my niche. What is my art niche? So right now in my professional career, I actually work in mental health. So I knew that I wanted to blend that more therapeutic work with art, but I also knew part of that is I wanted to do another part of my passion, which has to do with books. I love reading fiction and I love reading nonfiction, but primarily I would say I'm a big fantasy gal, and obviously another part of the niche is that I'm a Christian and I love reading the Bible. So I wanted to find a way to amalgamate everything together, to mix them all together, and to see what I can come up with. So that's one of the things that I want to talk to you guys about today. That is my niche. I know it's a really broad scope niche, but I'm really wanting to hone in and focus on things like illustrating biblical characters, illustrating imagery that will assist with supporting mental health for those who have struggled with anxiety, depression, senses of belonging, and etc. And I think there's a lot of blends that can come from that, and that comes to then the next part of setting up your business, and your brainstorming is the medium that I'm going to be using. Now, I love painting with water mixable oils. I do a little bit of watercolor as well, but in the last couple of years I have found myself more into the water mixable oils category, and I've loved that. And of course, when you do any sort of water mixable oils, you use acrylic paints as well. So some of the art that I will use will be in that medium. However, I've recently just picked up this passion again around digital art, and I have absolutely been loving it. It's taken over my life, guys. And of course, that will be using an iPad and using Procreate. So there's going to be a bit of blend of both. The next part of the brainstorming is the what and the how. So essentially, the what and the how is going to be, what am I going to do and how am I going to do it? So I want to do bookmarks, I want to do art prints, I want to do stickers, and anything else that might come from that you guys may recommend. If you guys have anything else that you think could be really symbolic and significant and helpful, please drop a comment down, because that's actually going to really help me, because I'm actually really relying on every single one of you to help me with making this dream come true, because I actually don't really know how to do this on my own. So that was my what and my how. The how is I'm going to try to, what's the word? To export some prints, to outsource some of the prints at first, just because I want to see how they'll end up. I want to work out things like formatting. I want to work things out completely, and then I'm going to upgrade and print from home once that's more feasible and once I know what I'm doing. All right, first order of business, to keep myself accountable of making this dream come true, let's apply for an ABN. Now, I'm going to say the broad scope of this is that this is going to be very Melbourne, Australia specific, and I'm not going to show you me filling in my details, but I'm going to show you the steps that I took to do this, and kind of screen record a little bit maybe, and to show you guys how I went about getting my ABN for my business. When we're applying for the ABN, you want to go on a website called the Australian Government or Australian Business Register. That's going to be the first thing, and I'm going to try to screen share that with you now. So you want to go on applying for an ABN. You can apply or reapply, and usually when you press the apply button, it will get you to do a bunch of things around like important information and some warnings about your eligibility as well. So you want to be able to go through that. That is going to be your center base on applying for your ABN. Now, one of the things that got me when I was applying for my ABN is that it does ask you, what is your niche, what is your business? And I think I initially didn't really have that well written. I knew it was going to be art. I knew I wanted to do things like selling in markets. I knew I wanted to sell online, but I didn't know what that would look like. So when I was typing it, I think my niche was not coming up. So play around with the wording, and because it takes that, you're going to see there's this little box that's going to write like, what are you going to do? And then from that little box, it dictates the drop downs that you get. So I think I wrote something around being a creative, selling art prints, and all those things. And then the drop downs came for that to select that. So once I selected that, I could go on to the next stage. So it is a little bit confusing at first when you're doing it. Play around with it. I know for me, the first time I did it, it actually said I wasn't prepared enough because I didn't conduct a research enough, but I had. But it kind of, because I think I didn't answer the questions correctly, don't feel discouraged. Just go back, try it again if you need to. What I was a bit surprised is that when I did apply for my ABN, it kind of came as approved, and I had to kind of screenshot that page, but there was no sort of follow-up email or letter that came into my inbox. I don't know, maybe I'm still waiting for it, potentially. But once this ABN came to be, I knew I had to get my act together now, and I had to do the next part of my setup, business name. Right, so with my business name, maybe I'll do a separate video around why I chose what I chose. I think this video here is just the initial how to set up guide for anyone who's wanting to be an artist that I've learned along the way. So I'll do a separate video on that one. But let's just say I went through a lot of back and forth around what is the business name, what do I want it to represent, what do I want to do, how do I want to call it, how do I want to be known in the world as an artist. And no, it's not my own personal name. I actually gave it an actual business name, and that is Vine and Breath Studio. So yeah, it was so exciting, to be honest, like once I finally landed and it felt right. And I think for me, when it clicks and it feels right, I know it's right. So I want to present you guys the CEO of Vine and Breath Studio now. So let's go to the next stage of that, is about registering Vine and Breath Studio. All right, so I'm going to share my screen again, and you should be able to see this page. So what you have to do is you want to go on the Australian Securities and Investments Commission, ASIC, and with ASIC, if you scroll down, you'll see register a business name. Now, when you're a small business, you are considered a sole trader, not a partnership, not a company, not anything like that. So you want to function as a sole trader. And actually, that's going to be important for the ABN as well. So when you're doing that and you're operating as a sole trader, you will see that you can check your business name that you have in mind. So for me, I actually went on there before I decided, and I checked my business name, and Vine and Breath Studio was available. I quickly went and decided to sign that up for that. So using my ABN, I then went and registered for a business name, which you'll see at the bottom here where it says register your business name. So again, number one, get your ABN. Number two, apply for your business name. Now, the whole process of applying for a business name was a little bit painful, but kind of also easy. Now, there is a registration fee for you to have a business name. So as you can see on the screen here, I've put here that the application to register a business for 1 year is 45 Australian dollars, or for 3 years is 104 Australian dollars. So add that to your budgeting when you're setting up your business name. Now, again, it's one of those things where you will register first, then ASIC will process it, send you an email with the bill, and then you pay for it, and then that's you done. You're good from that point on. And so, I have signed up Vine and Breath Studio. If you stayed for this long, I just want to say a really huge thank you for being with me as I talk you through what I've learned, and I guess a little bit of a guide on how to start things up. So I'm going to now finish this video up, and I really would like to ask you that if you could like and subscribe to this page, I would really, really be grateful to you. And in my next video, I'm going to talk about I guess what made me choose Vine and Breath Studio as my business name, and also show you maybe a little bit of my art in the process to that. Thank you. All right, see you. Bye.